Good morning, Postal family. How's everybody doing? My name is Syed. Welcome back to my channel. What's going on this beautiful Saturday morning? Well, the warm days finally here, or at least we think so. We've had warm days before, but this year is very different. A lot of cold fronts come and the weather just changes, so we don't know anything. But anyway, today's video, I'm talking more about what our Postmaster General was Steiner. He was asked different things. What his reply was. He says we need to take on heavier packages in order to compete with FedEx and UPS. So we'll get into that. But first, if you're new to the channel, my name is Syed. Postal content is what I do, love to do. You all know me. Thanks so much. Keep giving me the thumbs up. Smash that hype button. Appreciate it so much. Everything you all do. Keep the wonderful comments coming. Awesome minds out there. Thanks so much. I can't ever thank you guys enough for posting different things on there with your experiences, your thoughts, suggestions. Appreciate that very much, man. That's the best part of this, why I do this, the communication, the open mind people that talk to me, get a delight out of it. So keep the comments coming. Whether or not it's not good, I still appreciate you stopping by, putting in a comment. Means a lot to me. Everything I say on here is from my experiences, my research. I don't speak on behalf of USPS, Post Office in any of my videos. So continuing on, Steiner was asked, how do you compete with FedEx, UPS? Let me stop it right there. Why are we competing with UPS, FedEx? We're a service, postal service, mail carrier. But that shows you how much times have changed that postal service is reduced to competing with the UPS and FedEx, which are primarily package companies. And this new Postmaster General is coming from FedEx, so he already has the mindset. He doesn't know anything about what postal mail history is, what being a mail carrier is. He's just focused on competing with his ex-company and UPS. So that's sad in itself right there. Shows you that he doesn't have that postal mindset. He was just thrown into this position. He's already, basically in his mind, this is a private company already. So God help us in that part of it. We need to stay a public service. Last I checked, when I applied to be a mail carrier, not a package handler. Although I've done 10 years at FedEx, I can't say anything against that, but I wanted a change. So, all those 10 years I was trying to get in USPS. Only the place where I lived, there was the original, battery 470 exam that was really, really strict to do. And unfortunately, in that area in the north I lived, everybody who didn't score like a high 90s didn't get hired. So they kept me casual. I kept going in and out as a casual until I moved down here and finally got in. So last I checked, basically my point is I applied to be a mail carrier, not a package handler. So I know we know that mail volume has dropped drastically, but we're still alive, still kicking, still running. Granted, big bailout is needed. Like my other video, I just said $4 billion was given to us just 4 years ago. Now, where it went, God knows. Because of the losses, the $9 billion loss that was reported, I think that's primarily where it went, and we're still in the negative. So what he's saying is, it's funny what he's saying. We're mail carrier, but our packages are too light to compete with FedEx and UPS, whose base package weighs 5 pounds. So we're mail carriers, but unfortunately, the times we're living in, we need heavier packages. We don't need to compete with FedEx and UPS. They're private companies that rely on that package volume. We're a public service, always have been for over 100 years. Why are you focusing on that when you need to be focusing on restructuring this service from the management downside, all the way from step A to step B. You need to restructure it as to where we can survive. And he's looking at we need to increase our package weight. I'm sorry, with this kind of mindset, God help the Postal Service. This Postmaster General is he's coming in with that private mindset, and he's not gonna make it. I mean, he's still in the early days. He's still just started. But from the words he says, you know that he's not looking at this as a 100-year-old mail service. He's looking at it as another private company competing with FedEx and UPS. So how are we supposed to survive with this guy, man? I mean, when you give an answer like that, it already tells everybody what your mindset is. Your mindset is not a postal service. It's already privatized. You're talking about increasing the weight of the packages. Okay, then increase. Let's see. But we're not supposed to compete with UPS and FedEx. That's the wrong mindset. Forget about competition. You restructure everything you have here from step A all the way to Z. All the levels of pay you have, all the different positions, what you really need, what you don't. Helping out the carriers who actually do the frontline work. And then you'll be happy. But it seems this guy doesn't have the mindset to begin with. So God really help us. I'm always praying. God help us. There's a lot of families dependent on this USPS engine. So God always help the USPS survive. He was appointed, Steiner was appointed from FedEx Board of Governors. So what do you expect? I mean, with a mindset like that, he's not looking at restructuring anything. He's just looking to borrow more money. He increased that $15 billion borrowing limit that was set in the 90s to, he's asking 40 to 50 billion. I really don't know what the Congress is going to approve because, like I've been saying in different videos, they're spending money everywhere else. So, we're literally in God's hands right now, all the Postal Service's future, to be honest. But faith is there. Faith is always there. We've survived long. Mail volumes have dropped drastically. We still survive. There's some power at work, obviously. So, the creator of everything. So we can pray. But with this Postmaster General, this guy, unfortunately, he's coming in with the private mindset. So God help us. And the president always targeting USPS to be privatized anyway. So, like the NALC, the Mr. Renfro, we keep fighting like hell to keep us public service. That part of what Renfro says, that's one of the few things he says that, is the honest truth. We are fighting to stay a public service. Granted, he doesn't stand up for the carrier base like we need him to, but some of the things he says, just makes sense. Little bit. I mean, to stand up for postal service the way it is right now, to keep it that way. I mean, he is the president. He's got to say certain things that, do make sense other than the stuff that doesn't. So this is where we're at with this Postmaster General, comparing us to FedEx and UPS just coming in. Just a dumb comment. We need to increase our package weight. I mean, dude, what does Postal Service basic, what do we do? We're mail carriers, man. Does he know when he signed on the dotted line on the contract what mail carrying is? He just went from the Board of Governors to another seat. This is how I'm going to handle it. This is my background. Such and such. We got to compete with my former company. We got to compete with UPS. I'm looking at the weight of the packages. It's under 5 pounds, 1.5, something 2 pounds is our average. We need to increase that to 5 pounds. Wow, man. God help us really with this guy. So hope we get that bailout he's asking for to survive in the short term. I don't know how he's coming up with that number. DeJoy never made a threat like this ever in his tenure, that we're going to run out of funds. He never ever used those terms. This guy, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't a fan of his when he was signed on the dotted line, but I gave him a chance, like so many of us. But by the sounds of it, he's only private mindset, and that's bad news for the service. So we'll keep our prayers up, see what happens with Congress. They're supposed to intervene on this subject and give some answers. I don't think the borrowing limit, that answer is going to come that quick. Congress has got so many other things going on right now that they have to address. So, but all in all, we can pray. We can always pray for better times ahead. How we survive, God knows, beyond what he says in 12 months. So, day at a time, and keep your positive mindsets going. Keep those comments coming, guys. All those wonderful things you all say. So keep it coming. Keeps me going. Suggestions, all the news you guys have. So awesome stuff, good stuff. Thanks so much for the comments. A lot of you commented, hoping me well, getting better. This is by far, I haven't had this kind of long cold in a long time. So just eating my black seeds, steam treatments, all that good stuff. So I'm a lot better now, a lot better, sound better. So getting there, it was a very strong virus, one of those things, because the weather didn't help either, up and down. I would stay warm a couple of weeks, and then boom, all of a sudden 20s one morning. So, your body as you get older obviously can handle only so much. So I don't know if somebody passed this virus on to me. You never know these things, so. But it was rough, man. It was rough. A lot better now. It was rough. 2 weeks or more down, no energy. Just bad. That's. I'm not a summer fan, but that part of summer, you don't catch anything because the virus can't survive in the heat. So some positives, God has created into every season. I'm a winter fan, but this is the downside. When you catch something, there's no heat to fight it off quickly. So anyway, that's it for this video. Just wanted to bring out some more of what Postmaster Steiner was asked, and then what his answers were picturing us as a private company to compete with FedEx and UPS, as he's saying their base package weight is over 5 pounds, ours is 1 or 2. We need to increase that. Perfectly private answer. This guy doesn't know, obviously, what a mail service is. He's just thrown into this position, unfortunately, and that's where we're at. So we'll see what happens. God is in charge always. As I always say, guys, check your surroundings for your safety first and foremost. Once you clock in the morning, we want to clock back out and go safely home to our families, as always. So that's always check your surroundings. Each individual of us is out there on the routes alone. We have our pepper spray as our only defense against anything. Always, say your prayers always too. So God be on the lookout for everything. Protect us each day. So take care, guys. And Mailman Syed will see you on the next take. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Peace out.